guys? Welcome back to HPL. Show is out to a 2-0 lead. We have been seeing this very commonly so far in HPL. One player really able to get that big advantage and put the other one on the back foot. Ostkaka, just like last match, he has to win 3 straight to pick up this series.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can win 3 straight to win the series. And you've seen Show turn to Hunter to be the thing that gets him his victory here early in HPL and often. He's already done it here today, and we're going to have to see if he does it again in Game 3. You know what? I got to believe that he's going to do it again.
Yeah, really been shifting gears very well, kind of playing a strategy that doesn't give your opponent too much insight into what your game plan is, then bam, hit him with that Savannah High main. Last game, that Savannah High main dealt way too, the amount of damage that Savannah High main dealt was too dang high.
It was too dang high.
Game 3 is about to get underway, guys. Show versus Ostkaka. Match point for Show, and Ostkaka needs 3 straight. Get out there on Twitter, use that hashtag HPL. Let everyone know if you think he's going to make a comeback or if you think Show is going to take this series very easily. And look at this, another swap. Goes back to Druid and Ostkaka. He's playing Face Hunter now. That Worgen Infiltrator spells out exactly what his game plan is.
Oh yeah, he's going to be aggressive early and often in this game, and he is not going to be paying much attention to Show's board. We're going to be going upstairs.
Yeah, Show very smart here to keep the Wrath here too. You know, wants to make sure he's got everything early in check. A hand like that, you know, we saw him kind of roll his eyes a little bit, but I don't think this hand's that bad. I mean, he looks to me like he's going to be able to kill basically every single minion that Ostkaka's going to play.
Oh yeah, it's a typical strategy against Hunter if you're not racing them is kill everything. And it looks like Show has got a very good hand at doing that.
Yeah, not able to kill the Worgen Infiltrator though. This is going to get in at least 2 points of damage.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stealth. It's really hard to take care of him when he has an attack.
Yeah, you can't target stealth minions, unfortunately. I wish you could. Just going to be hero power from him, no action for a couple turns. And now it's on Ostkaka. I mean, we could potentially see a coin animal companion here, and that could be devastating. Even Arcane Golem in this deck along with those Wolf Riders, not a big surprise. Again, just wanting to be basically as aggressive as he possibly can.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he does coin Animal Companion here, because then his turn 3 is a little weird. He might not want to play the Unleash the Hounds. He might not want to play Arcane Golem. Arcane Golem early against Druid can sometimes be a weird thing to do, because giving them the extra mana, letting them utilize their mana even better than they already do, is kind of a liability sometimes.
Yeah, Shady next Ramus, not sure if this is going to come down this turn. Show's got a lot of things he needs to think about and exactly how this game's going to pan out. I think this is probably...
Yeah, I would play the Shade if I were him here, because Swipe next turn cleans up this board very nicely, and you want to develop your board.
Yeah, this is probably the one turn that he could probably just, you know, take some damage from minions and not think too much of it. Later in the game, as he starts to get a little bit lower, that's not really going to be a viable option for him.
And let's see what Animal Companion is going to be. Summon Random Huffers. It's been a lot here in HPL.
It's good to see again. 8 points of damage over to Show, and you can see him, he is not comfortable with his board position.
Yeah, he's not comfortable with his board position, and he's got a decent bit of removal in his hand, and he's going to be able to clean up this board if he wants to, but giving initiative back to Ostkaka, he cannot be super happy about that.
Yep, so just going to go with the Swipe here, wants to keep those 2 Wraths, make sure he can stay mana efficient, maybe moving into turn 6, looking at something like Piloted Shredder plus a Wrath afterwards, but the damage is going to keep coming here from Ostkaka at this point.
Yeah, Wolf Rider was actually a pretty good draw here if he wants. He can Wolf Rider coin into a Glaivezooka and do a ton of damage and just keep the beats rolling.
Yeah, the fact that he's got weapons in his hand, I have to believe he wants to utilize them now before taunts come into effect. So having to take that into consideration, and then also maybe wanting to clear up this Shade instead of just going for Face. I mean, that's a possibility as well. We don't know exactly what this trap is. He's going to hang on to the Wolf Rider though.
Yeah, this is an interesting play from Ostkaka. He's going to hang on to the Wolf Rider. Let's see if he attacks the Shade or his Face. He goes upstairs with the weapon attack here to Show.
It's got to be Explosive Trap.
It's got to be Explosive Trap, or it could be Freezing. It's got to be a trap that's going to take care of Show's minion here.
I think if it was Freezing Trap, we would have seen that Wolf Rider, because that would have been protected from that. But I think the idea that he was going for here is that he wanted to make sure that Show couldn't just trade that Shade into his Wolf Rider and then effectively nullify the, you know, what this Explosive Trap was going to bring to the table. We saw Era do this yesterday, and he held on to some Leopard Gnomes in his hand, and it cost him a little bit of damage. There's a possibility with the way that this hand's developing that we could see that exact same thing.
Yeah, but we're going to see him push for a ton of damage here this turn. Wolf Rider, Hero Power, Glaivezooka going upstairs.
Yeah, he's actually, it looked to me like he had oh no, going upstairs. It looked like for a moment he had maybe attacked the Wolf Rider into this Piloted Shredder, but understanding he needs to make this big push for damage, and very, very soon.
Yeah, he gets 2 here off the Explosive Trap, but Show's going to be able to take care of this Wolf Rider, but he is at 8 here. And Ostkaka has a couple cards to win over the next turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of damage in his hand right now. 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it looks to me like that's actually lethal.
I think he actually is like lethal here with Arcane Golem, Glaive Zuka, plus
5,
Hero Power.
6, 7,
with the,
yeah, that's exactly 9 damage.
with the coin.
Ostkaka gonna put a win on the board here. Tie this. I'm sorry, not tie the series up, but you know,
Get on the board.
Yeah, get on the board and start looking to tie this series up. Aggressive play from him, paying off this game.
Yeah, the second Glaive Zuka is going to spell doom for show here. That card is so good at getting in a ton of damage early and in middle of the game when there's no taunts to stop it and no life gain on his show side. He killed it before he could get to turn 7 and gain 5 life off of his Ancient of Lore. And Ostkaka gets on the board. He's on the board, as we said, 2-1 here, still losing to show, but now he only needs 2 instead of 3.
Yeah, that journey starts with that single step here, and now looking to tie this series up. I mean, aggression, really the big curveball now so far in this game. I mean, both these guys, they played Druid in game 1. In game 2, I think they played something you could still consider a little bit more traditional from both of them. But in game 3, Sho went back to Druid, not knowing exactly what Ostkaka was going to do, and he punished him for that with that Face Hunter deck.
Yeah, the story of HPL so far has been aggression. You've seen a lot of the aggressive decks coming out swinging and winning a lot of games. Players have been trying to play control decks, haven't necessarily gotten the draws they need or the matchups they need, and they've been punished a lot for it. We've even seen mid-range decks do pretty well. We saw Purple 3-0 with Druid yesterday. But these Druid decks have been doing well, and these aggressive decks have been doing well. Maybe that's the kind of style these guys have been needing to do in HPL lately.
Yeah, got to feel out your opponent and see exactly what's going on. So in the early stages, that's really where the kind of the metagame within the metagame is developing. How pros are going to tackle that development in there. This isn't just ranked play where, a lot of people are playing whatever the flavor of the month is and kind of going from there. They want to play super efficient strategies and then figure out how to take on those super efficient strategies that their opponents are throwing at them. This is what you're going to see early, and it's what, it's kind of what I expected to see, and it's exactly what we're seeing right now. Players really adapting their style and taking on things that you normally would not see them play.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to see if Ostkaka can win 2 more in a row to win this match. We saw a reverse sweep yesterday. Are we going to see another one here today? Guys, we're going to find out when we get back. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.